Alright, so this video is on the NHX110, getting basically 6+ miles an hour or more from stock. So here I have the picture of the variator, and I have 3 marks. I took a marker and marked 3 lines across the edge of the face here, as to see how far the belt rolled up, and I think you could see it right about there. See those three little markers probably there, so you can still kind of see it. So that means the belt didn't completely go all the way up to the very edge. It sort of did, but not not completely there, which is actually perfect, because any further than the top of the belt will actually the flat spot on the belt, not the rib side, but the outer side, will actually rub on the pinion gear. Right, rub on the pinion gear up here, up where the pinion gear is right here. And you actually see it. My belt does have a little bit of rubbing. Let's see if this thing can focus in on there. See that line on the top edge of the belt? Kind of light. So that's where the rubbing is, and it's just barely rubbing there. It's not well, sort of, somewhat a little bit of an indent on there, not much. That's rubbing up on here. Let's see, pull it out. Basically, it's rubbing up along here. You see all this polished, shiny edge along here. So that's basically where the rubbing is. Where it occurs. So that's using the Dr. Pully sliders, and actually most of this rubbing is actually not from the Dr. Pully. Most of this rubbing is from my previous shave. I had shaved the variator boss. I took off. I forgot how many. You see it in my other video. How many thousandths of an inch I took off. But anyways, so the Dr. Pully does bring it up there a little bit. Right now I actually have 3 12 grams and 3 13 grams, so basically averaging 12.5 grams. The stock is 13 grams. Right, stock roll is 13 grams. On the Dr. Pulleys, I tried both 13 grams and 12 grams, and 13 grams basically it just had opened the belt here up a little bit too much. The variator opened up a little bit too much, and the gearing is a little bit too tall. And at 12 grams, the gearing was a little bit too low. You just kind of rev kind of high the whole time, and I would hit the rev limiter pretty easily. So I put the combination of the other two, and it feels perfect. I mean, it feels really well. The only time I ever hit the rev limiter is basically if I'm going downhill. If I'm going downhill, or if I'm drafting a 18-wheeler or something like that, then I might hit the rev limiter. Otherwise, so that's the Dr. Pully, and you've seen the individual videos of that. So that right there will give you at least 2 miles an hour more top speed using the Dr. Pulleys. Using a larger tire, right? 4 inch by 10. You can see that, maybe not. Say 4 inch by 10. That right there will give you about 2 miles an hour more. And the last thing was the final drive. I got the Kitaco final drive in here, and it was, I believe it was 2 teeth difference. I can't remember if it was smaller or bigger, but anyways, it geared it taller by 2 teeth on the final drive. The final drive, I believe the final drive counter gear, but anyways, you see that in my other video. But the combination of those 3 together gives this bike basically top speed wise at least 6 miles an hour more. So here I'm on the speedometer here, and basically No, stock, it would. Let me see. I have use something as a pointer real quick. Let's get this little twig here. Oops. Stock, it would basically. Oh, this is too big, too fat. Let's grab something smaller. Let's see, maybe this is smaller. All right. So stock, the needle would basically be right about there or so, right? And it would hit the rev limiter, so just shy of halfway between 50 and 55, so right about there. Now the needle gets to about right to just before touching the 60 block. So basically it will get to 59 indicated. So that's easily over over 6 miles an hour more. So that's pretty good. This is, you also have to realize that I'm also running a larger front tire. My front tire is a let's see, what is that? A 190 12. So it's actually a little bit bigger. So the indicator. So that what that means is whatever speed I'm at now with that bigger tire. Let's say I'm at 55. If it was a stock tire, it will actually show more by about 1 or 2 miles an hour more. So with the current setup right now, let's say I'm at 55. If I had the stock tire on there, front tire, it would probably show 56 or 57. So basically, if I still had a stock size front tire, this indicator would definitely hit 60, probably even 61. So that's a pretty good amount. That's like 8 miles an hour more actually. But anyway, so the setup I have that I just showed you guys, that will get you to at least 6 miles an hour more in your top speed. That's on the flat ground, no wind. So giving downhill speed and downhill speed versus flat speed. It's kind of, a lot of people they only give the downhill speed. That's kind of deceptive. You want to see what the flat speed is with no wind, no tailwind, no headwind, no drafting. So when I have that, those type of conditions, this bike will get up to about 57, 58. So basically, I think with long enough distance I could get to 58. But for the most part, it'll get to 57 for sure. So that's basically at least 5 miles an hour more compared to stock. So this is a much better, safer way of doing it. If you look at my other videos from what was it, like a year or 2 years ago, I had shaved down the variator boss, and that gave me 5 miles an hour or so more. But that didn't work out very well. It just, the bottom end just sucked because the gearing just way too tall initially, and also it dug into the belt quite a bit. It dug into the belt by about 2 millimeters or so. That's just too much. That damaged the belt in the long run. It just I always felt uneasy with the belt like that in that condition. But yeah, so I think right now the way it is, it rides. The gearing the way it is it rides. It's like perfect. I think this is how Honda should have geared the bike, from the factory like that. But at the same time, we realized that this originally was a Chinese market bike. It's made in China for mainly the Chinese market or the Asian market, and over there they just don't ride that fast. Even when the road is completely empty and they have the road all to themselves, they will not go up to 50 miles an hour. They probably stay at like a 30 or so miles an hour. So that's one of the reasons why it's geared lower. But also, over there, in the less developed countries, a bike like this would be the main means of transportation, and they use it as basically the family vehicle. It's the family vehicle. So you have the whole family there. You have the mom, pops, 3 kids, 5 people on a little bike like this. So you see why it's geared lower, so that it could basically carry that weight. It could actually go. If it was geared taller like it is right now, well, with that much weight, it won't have too much. It doesn't just. It's basically just geared too tall for that carrying that much amount of weight. So I can understand that. Yeah. So that's it. So thanks for watching.